Could we get past this trail of rings here? We're gonna get a big bird badnik. And this bird badnik shoots missiles. When you bounce into the missiles, they bounce back into him. And I believe it takes either 3 or 4 hits in order to take this guy down. And that's pretty much it. You'll see my time limit is at 97, 96, 95. If you let the missiles fly by, you know, you're not going to be going anywhere, and then your time limit's going to pop up, and you're like, oh god, what do I do? And you just eventually get the idea that maybe I should bounce into the missiles. I don't know. Anyway, folks, time for Zavok.
I will show you my full strength.
So the boss fight with Zavok in the 3DS version. Once again, Sonic is falling through the sky. I don't know why, but he just is. Unlike the level we just played in the Wii U version, you can just move Sonic wherever you want on screen by pushing up, down, left, right. He will go there on screen. I ran into a laser wisp, which allowed me to deal out tons of damage to Zavok, but if you want to deal damage to Zavok in this fight, you have to sort of get a 3-charge homing attack on him to lower his defenses. Then you have to do a 3-charge homing attack after his defenses are broken in order to deal out damage. So I dealt out damage once right there, and that's pretty much it. Eventually, Zavok's going to go into the center of the screen, and his lasers are going to be going spinning around, and it's really easy to manipulate Sonic here. Just constantly move him. Hold R to move faster while you're flying, and once again, just 3-charge to break his defenses, 3-charge to knock him out. Not that hard of a boss fight. Pretty fun, actually.
Maybe it's too early to kill him.
That's right, folks. The final boss is Dr. Eggman. Where did the Deadly Six go? I don't know. But we don't ever see them again until they appear for, like, the Olympic Games in Rio and whatnot. But, yeah, folks, Dr. Eggman's the final boss. This is actually a pretty easy, pretty quick boss fight when you know what you're doing. And I still have to collect all the red rings, and like with the Act 1 of Lava Mountain, it's just really a waiting game. I'm going down this pathway, and I'm waiting for the red rings to spawn so that I can collect them as we run through. And once I collect all 5 red rings, then I'm going to attack Eggman proper. And that gives you a chance to see how simplistic his patterns are. I don't know why his first move is to shoot bullets on the sides of the road instead of, like, in the middle of the road. But then he just does 2 quick laser passes that are very easy to jump over. He tries to crush you with his 2 hands. Very easy to jump and double jump over. And this is when you start attacking his legs and actually start dealing some damage to Eggman, but I got red rings to collect. Well, I'll get to you in a minute, Eggman. You and your cool little energy cape. I actually really like this mech. And this final boss theme is fantastic. I mean, my god. But yeah, he's just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again until you deal out a lot of damage to him. And now that I got all the red rings, kick out his legs, homing attack the cockpit, and when he's stumbling, remember, build up the bar with a charged up homing attack, and the longer you build up, the more damage you'll do, and I've just effectively made it so that there's only one more hit and Eggman's done. Now really, if I wasn't collecting red rings, I'd probably be done the fight by now. So he only has one more hit to go, and now he starts spreading the bullets. Now he's going to go faster with the lasers. Now he's going to do 2 clapping attacks. So, you know, now he really means business. Now he really means business. Again, this boss fight is very similar to how Sonic Colors, the Nega Wisp machine was. That also had you dodging lasers, having a runner kind of boss fight, and the Lost World boss fight is not particularly amazing. I mean, this is it. I beat Eggman. Booyah. How does Eggman make fireworks like that anyway? So yeah, that's the final boss of the Wii U version, but it's a little different in the 3DS version, and I figured I would show that one second and not first, because I actually think the 3DS version has the far better boss fights, and why not go out on a high note, right?
Whoa! Prepare yourself!
So with this boss fight, I'm not collecting red rings. I'm just going to get into it right away. And you can't end this fight super, super quick anyway. So it's actually going to last longer as a boss fight. But he has this thing where like he'll occasionally drop his arms to shoot electricity. And as long as you're just not in front of the electricity, just move left and right with the control stick. You should be fine. When he drops fireballs, they leave this little icon showing you where the fireballs are going to drop. So you just know to stay out of those circles. And how you actually attack Eggman is a little different in the 3DS version, because in the Wii U one, you just homing attack his leg, and it's nobody's business. But in the 3DS version, you kind of have to face every single part of his body. Like, you have to face his legs, you have to face his hands, and you gotta face his chest. So what happens is, you have to move Sonic on screen. You actually have to move left, right, and possibly move forward as well, because you can move forward by pushing up on the control stick. The game's a constant auto-runner during this boss fight, so I'm not holding up right now. But if you want to get closer to his chest, closer to his hands, a good way to get the cursor on them is to move forward and go closer to them. But you have to get 5 cursors on all the things, you know, the hand, the legs, the chest, and then you can finally deal out damage to Eggman. And if you want to speed the fight up, when he's stumbling, make sure it's a 3-charge homing attack. It doesn't go beyond 3. It only does 3 in the 3DS version. So take advantage of that. But yeah, if this is the Wii U version, he'd be done by now. This is a much longer, much more satisfying boss fight, and it still has the kick-ass theme song. I actually like the visuals here for the 3DS version. I like the how the lava is on the side and how the rocky mountains are. And, it's a good final boss fight, and I had to replay this a lot in order to get gold materials to upgrade Tails' workshop and stuff. So I'm quite familiar with this boss fight. Yes, sirree, Bob. Quite familiar indeed. Oh, shit. Ow! Every time you deal out damage to Eggman, he drops a whole bunch of rings, so you'll always have lots of health. I don't know what the power levels are supposed to mean.
I'm sick of you getting in the way every single time.
I love that quote because he doesn't do it in the Wii U version, and again, I love that consistency with all the modern games, is that Eggman seems to be getting more crazy as these games go on, you know? Like, he's getting more unhinged and more, like, deranged now that, like, Sonic's been kicking his ass for years and years and years, and he's never, ever won. So I just really like that voice clip. I'm sick of you getting in the way every single time! Ugh! If he does do it in the Wii U version, I don't know how to get him to trigger it, but, yeah, he gets more intense as the fight goes on, and there is an instant kill bullshit move that's coming up that I do have to warn you about. It's right here. He shoots this fireball at you, right? And you think it's going to be like all the other fireballs, but there's a black hole in it, and the black hole tries to suck you in, so you have to constantly move right or left, depending on where it is on the road, in order to get away from it. And if you're not thinking about that, if you don't know there's going to be a black hole coming out of that sun, well, then you won't be noticing what's going on, and then Sonic will move left, and then you go into the black hole, and it doesn't matter how many rings you have, you die. So I'll admit, that is kind of a dick move. I don't think they should have... I think they should have telegraphed the black hole a lot better. But in the final hit, you just mash the B button, and Eggman goes explodey. Booyah! Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially beat Sonic Lost World. That is the game.